बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। तमाम साथियों को या अली मदद, thank you again for inviting this Garib and Aziz to talk about the very important subject of Ruh, Ibadat and Isme Azam. But you know, this Garib and Aziz, I cannot do this without your prayers. And we ask Imam Zaman to give us tawfiq, tahid, himmat wa yari, so we can do some ilmi work, have some kind of understanding of the soul, the ibadat and the Isme Azam. And inshallah today we will move up one step in the understanding of these three things. And we have received some questions ahead of time. We will cover them, and then if we have more question from the listener on this line today, we will cover them inshallah. Again, Ya Mola Baba, Ya Hazir Imam, Ya Imam Zaman, please give us tawfiq, ta'id, himmat wa yari, so we can do what we have gathered here to do. Ameen Ya Rabbal Alameen. The very first thing I'd like to cover is the practice of ibadat itself. What is ibadat? Not that this subject is anything new to us, but I wanted to explain this one more time, as sometimes what we take as a physical act of sitting in ibadat, sitting in bandagi. It is not about the physical act, but the understanding what is ibadat and bandagi. The word ibadat, following, obeying, इत्तेहाद, फरमान बरदारी. So when we say we are going to do ibadat, in the back of our mind, it should be that I will do the farman bardaring, I will do the obeying, I will follow Imam's guidance. Because ibadat literally means obeying, following, जिसको उर्दू में इत्तेहाद कहते हैं, फरमान बरदारी कहते हैं. अब बेतुल ख्याल इबादत cannot be without the complete and total farman bardari. What did I say? Complete and total itaat. Bandagi. The word bandagi literally means slavery, gulami, or serving your master. So when we say we are sitting in bandagi, what we should have in back of our mind, the understanding that Imam is the Mola, the master, and I am the banda, the gulam. I'm here to serve the Imam. I'm here to please my master, my Mola, my Imam. How many times? Remember, only through the question and only through challenging our mind and our intellect, we can understand the batin of our tariqah. So, question. How many times do we sit in bandagi? How many times do we sit in ibadat? With this understanding that I will follow, obey my Imam, and I will do anything to serve and please my Imam. Because that's what bandagi and ibadat means. And without those two things, there is no Betul Khayal. Now you notice I changed the words from bandagi and ibadat to Betul Khayal. Betul Khayal, the thought of the batin. The thoughts of the batin. Betul Khayal. Now there is a two different understanding that our Dais and Pir has given us. Thought of the batin or the thoughts of the higher. Upar ka khayal or andar ka khayal. Now we have three things to think. Am I obeying my Imam? Am I pleasing my Imam? Am I having the thoughts of the batin and up above of the higher? That is the complete understanding of ibadat. So now that leaves us with the soul and Isme Azam. Because remember, we are covering three parts of this lecture. Soul, ibadat, and Isme Azam. So that leaves us with the two parts at the each end, the soul and Isme Azam. Before we get to those two, the requirement of ibadat is to give the qurbani, come and do what Imam says, what makes Imam happy. No, we cannot do ibadat 7 o'clock in the morning. No, we cannot do ibadat 3 o'clock in the afternoon. No, we cannot pick our own time to do ibadat. Why? Why cannot we do that? Who is stopping us? The three things is stopping us. Ibadat, total submission and following of the Imam. Because Imam says 4 o'clock, then total submission needs to be the qurbani of your time and your sleep. Qurbani of your time and your sleep. So you can follow the total obedience, the farman of the Imam. Second, a slave, a serving person cannot say to the master, 3, 4 o'clock, I'm too sleepy. That's my bedtime, Mola Baba. I'll come and serve you in the morning. Or 3 o'clock in the afternoon because that is convenient for me. Have you ever seen any serving person, a slave, could say that to his master? No, right? total submission, total qurbani. The third point, the Baitul Khiyal, the inner thought and the thought of the above. The 4 o'clock in the morning, because that time is the perfect time when the radio waves, the sound waves are at its lowest possible wave at that time. So Imam who knows better what is good for us, and if you are willing to give your qurbani of your sleep and time, then Mola is showing you which time is the best time to do ibadat for your success, so you can succeed in this practice. Because after all, the purpose of bandagi and ibadat was to be successful in ibadat. If we want Imam to bless us, and what did Imam say? It is not you. You cannot just reach out and grab the glass of water. It is Imam who gives. And who does Imam gives to? Who does Imam gives to? Who give their qurbani, who gives their qurbani of their sleep and qurbani of their time, who follows Imam and who serve Imam to please him. It's a contract between the Banda and the Murshid, the Imam and the Mu'min. It's a contract. When you went for your Baitul Khiyal bowl, you said what? I'm ready to give my time and sleep for the higher enlightenment. Did we not say that? When we went to Mola Baba, we said we are ready for the higher enlightenment. I want to have Ismi Azam so I can get to the Noor step by step, closer by closer, notch by notch. And then we changed our mind that I cannot wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. On top of that, Aziz sir, you are asking us to wake up 3 o'clock in the morning. And we do more ibadat and more bandagi. What do you mean more ibadat and more bandagi? More obeying, more following, more pleasing to the Imam, more qurbani of our time and our sleep. The more you give, the more Imam will be happy and pleased with you, and in return he will bless you more, quicker, faster, and he will take you closer to his Noor. He will take you closer to his Noor much, much faster. આપણે ગુજરાતીમાં કહે છે ને, જેટલી વધારે ગોળ નાખશો એટલું વધારે મીઠું થશે. The more you give your qurbani, the more you obey him, the more he will be pleased with you. So ibadat is a qurbani. It requires your seriousness, your attention, and your intent to give, to follow. That is the meaning of ibadat. Now let's come to the soul and the Ismi Azam. Because ibadat is for the soul, not for the body. Not for the body. Then you must prepare your soul for the ibadat. So how do you prepare your soul for the ibadat? We already know two things, ibadat and bandagi. But then the good deeds throughout the day. And that happens and starts when? When you wake up in the morning. Not 4 o'clock in the morning. When you wake up in the morning, your good deeds, your intention of the ibadat of the next morning starts today. As soon you wake up in the morning. And I believe you all remember the prescription. I don't need to repeat. I don't need to repeat again and again. Ibadat does not start 4 o'clock in the morning, but it starts with the day when you wake up in the morning. Early in the morning. That's when your good deeds, your intention, and the purification of your soul starts. And if you remember your tasbiyat all day long, you are preparing your soul to fly. And you are preparing your soul to fly even further. In one of Imam Aka Sultan Muhammad Shah's Farman, may my soul be sacrificed to their Imam, says that at the beginning you may not be able to fly too much, but eventually you will have enough power under your wings for you to fly further. आस्ते आस्ते आप ऊपर उड़ने लगेंगे. What does it mean? You will come closer and closer to the Noor of Imam. That's what it means. Okay. The foundation, the brick. The foundation of our ibadat definitely start with our physical practice of ibadat, because foundation lies on our physical action, but that is just the first brick. If that first brick is solid, meaning you are doing your part, a physical part, by getting up, being punctual, sitting in ibadat, and if you have done all of those things throughout the day, and what was the one thing in the middle of the day that you must do to prepare for 4 o'clock? If you remember, during the day, take 5 minutes, take 10 minutes, and practice your Isme Azam. Because 4 o'clock is not a practice time. Practice time is during the day. 4 o'clock is a test time. That is the final moment to meet your Creator. वहां तो हमको इमाम से मिलने का वक्त है. अब प्रैक्टिस का वक्त कहां है? अब टेस्ट की तैयारी, एग्जाम की तैयारी पहले करनी होती है. वो तो टेस्ट का वक्त है, इम्तिहान का वक्त है, एग्जाम का वक्त है, इमाम से मिलने का वक्त है. And if you do that, there is no reason for Imam not to be happy with you. There is no reason that Imam will not give you what he said himself. I wish you would have the didar of the Noor at least once, meaning what? Hope you will have didar again and again. That's what Imam wants us to have. He truly wanted to give us the didar of his Noor. Are we prepared to take it? Are we ready to take it? That's the question. The brick, the foundation has to be solid. The understanding of ibadat and bandagi needs to be solid. So on that solid foundation, we can put the bricks of good deeds, tasbiyat, गिरियाज़ारी, and then ibadat. अब हमारी जो बंदगी इबादत की बिल्डिंग होगी, it would be on a solid ground, solid structure, solid foundation. So आज हमने इबादत बंदगी के फाउंडेशन को अच्छी तरह से समझा है. And if you agree with me, then combinedly, us, all of us, combinedly have made a decision that we will pay attention, we will be attentive, and starting today, we will pay attention to the foundation. We are ready to give our qurbani, we are ready to do our ibadat, obeying, we are ready to do our bandagi, serving and pleasing, and we are ready to do our Baitul Khiyal. We are ready to do our Baitul Khiyal. Because otherwise, after listening and attending 4th session, and we still don't have that solid foundation, how will we build the building on top of it? हम कभी ये रूहानियत का सफर करेंगे और ऊपर जाएंगे? Inshallah today. Inshallah today. Imam is truly merciful. He is truly Rahman and Rahim. He truly loves us, and he truly wants our soul to elevate and have his Nurani Didar. That is Imam's wish, and that is Imam's farman to his spiritual children. Inshallah. Acha. Let's come to some of the questions that I have received. And one of that is, and this is amazing questions. In one of the class, I had said that angels, फरिश्ते, वो हमको दिख सकते हैं, and we can see them, and they do come down from the heaven. So first, for those who are writing the notes, writing references, who like to read, please make note of this reference. Surah 19, that is Surah Maryam, ayat number 17. And you will see the appearing of the angel in the shape, in the form of a man in front of Maryam, the mother of Isa alayhi salam. Appearing of an angel in front of Maryam in the shape and a form of a man. What does that tell us? कि जब फरिश्ते हम पर आते हैं, because our batini eyes is not open, they will appear in front of you. The way we could understand them without getting scared, in the shape of a person. It could be a man or woman, because here it says a man, so I read man. But remember, at the level of soul, at the level of angels, we cannot say they are man or woman. They are just angels. They will appear in front of you the way you will understand them. So answer is yes. You heard me correct. They do appear, they do come down, and they do guide whom they wish to guide. Okay. Second, not a question but comment was, there was a question I posed and I never answered, and I believe somebody was paying attention to that. She called on to me and said that you said, matter of fact, I asked, and the question was, is the blind and the seeing person are the same? एक अंधा और एक आंखों वाला, the person who has no eyes and person who has a good eyesight are the same? What does it mean? She's asking. What kind of question was that? I'm so proud of her, because sometimes this Garib and Nachis would do that, because our goal is not to come here and deliver lecture and then leave, but goal is to do what? For us to broaden our mind, open our mind, so we can see outside the box. We can think outside the box. Right now we are limiting ourselves. No, we need to open our heart, open our mind, and this question was placed for that reason, and she caught on to it. What does it mean? A person who has eyesight and person who is blind, and the question was, are they same? So first example, just think of a blind person in this world compared to someone who has eyesight. They cannot be same. What a person with the eyesight can see, a blind cannot see. Regardless, doesn't matter how much you explain, he or she will not be able to understand what you are seeing. That is the physical example. But here, we are not talking about physical things, are we? We are talking about batin. Person who has batini eyes and person who does not have batini eyes, are they same? एक जिसकी बातिन की आंख खुल गई है और एक जिसकी बातिन की आंख नहीं खुली है, क्या वो दोनों बराबर बराबर है? That was the question. Doesn't matter how much that person explains, the batin, the person who does not have the eyes of the batin will not be able to understand. Does that sound like Mullah Papa's Farman? Yes. If you explain, they will not be able to understand, because this is personal to you. The person who has batini eyesight and what he or she sees, he or she will not be able to explain, because person who does not have batini eye will not be able to understand, regardless के कितना भी आप explain कर लें. That was the question. So now you understand, someone who has his eyes, which eyes? Batini eyes open. When he or she explains with the amr of the imam, with the izn of the imam, for example, our dais and peers, our arifin, when they explain, they use such a vocabulary to explain the batin that you will never know that they are talking about their batin, spiritual experiences. And if you are not paying attention, you will miss it and you will think that of a physical matter and physical talk. Next thing, and just on the same thing, I have pulled some of the other ayat, or the reference of this blind and the one who could see was Surah Fatir, and we read that last week. Surah 35, ayat number 19. If you look at the next ayat, which is number 20, the first ayat says, who is blind and who can see are the same. The very next ayat says, the one who is in the ignorancy, one who is in the ignorancy, the jahalat, the zulmat, the darkness, and one who is with the ilm and the light, the nur. Can they be same? No. The one with the light and the ilm will be able to see and go further than one who is in the zulmat, the ignorancy and the darkness, because they would not be able to see. So what is this example between the eye and the light? So let's understand this with the example. So now, right now, I believe it is already dark in UK. You have a book in front of you, your notebook where you're writing your references. If you close your eyes, even though you have lights on in your home, if you close your eyes, will you be able to see that book? No. So you need your eyesight to see what you're looking at. Alright, let's take the second example. Keep your eyes open but turn off the lights. Will you be able to see? नहीं, आप नहीं देख सकेंगे. So what do you need? You need eyes and the light. Do you see that? तो क्वेश्चन जो था कि जो आंखों वाला और अंधा बराबर है, तो आंखों के साथ नूर की भी जरूरत है. Because the eyes cannot see without the light. Without the light. So that was his second example. And there are a couple of more examples within the same surah in the next ayat. The one who is in the shadow and one who is in the heat of the sun. Are they same? No, the cold and heat is not same. The warmth of the nur in your heart is not same as the coldness further away from the nur and the sunlight. What sunlight I'm talking about? The sun of the Imam's nur is not same. And the last example from the ayat number 22. The person who's dead and person who's living. एक आदमी जो मरा हुआ है और एक आदमी जो जिंदा है, क्या वो बराबर बराबर है? नहीं. कौन सी मौत और कौन सी जिंदगी की बात हो रही है? Are we talking about physically dead? No, those who are spiritually dead and those who are spiritually alive, are they same? No, they are not. Those who are spiritually alive can see things with their eyes, with the light of the Noor, and with the Imam's blessing. Because they are spiritually alive, they cannot be same as the one who is dead spiritually. So this was the question, and bravo to you, my sister, that you were able to catch what I was saying and ask. Thank you for asking. Appreciate that. Because otherwise, going into this much detail would not be easy. The next question was just for the reference, and that was, what was the reference where Allah had blown his Noor, his soul, into Adam? खुदावन ताला ने आदम के अंदर अपनी रूह फूंक दी. The reference was 15, Surah 15, Surah Hijr, ayat number 29. That was the total question. Now, I had said something about, and this is another beautiful, not a question but a comment. The person said, do I understand you correctly? There are people amongst us who are walking amongst us with the Noor of the Imam in their heart? Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. The reference of that is, and then we will talk about that for a minute or two, Surah 6, Surah Anam. Surah 6, Surah Anam. Ayat number 122. Surah 6, Surah Anam, 122. 122 ayat. Allah is comparing two kind of people. One who's dead, not physically dead, spiritually dead. And then Allah says, to whom we give life, और जिसको हमने जिंदगी दी है. अभी आप देखें, note in this ayat, Allah just doesn't talk about whom I have given life, because हम सबके पास जिंदा है हम. Allah is not talking about this life, this physical life की बात नहीं हो रही है. I hope and wish you will go and look at this ayat in the Quran and read this line, to whom we give life and Noor, जिसको हमने बातिनी जिंदगी दी, हकीकी जिंदगी दी, और जिसको हमने नूर दिया. बिकॉज नूर की वजह से तो वो जिंदा हो गया बातिन. वो लोगों के दरमियान में चलते फिरते हैं. Those are the one who walk among people. आपने देखा, इमाम जब अपने मोमिनों को अपना नूर देता है, तो क्या वो उसको नूर देके उसको छोड़ देता है? नहीं, उससे काम लेता है वो. Now he is a part of the Imam's team, the team of the angels who works for Imam's batini task. इमाम का काम नहीं है कि वो AKTN बनाए और हॉस्पिटल बनाए, स्कूल बनाए, सड़कें बनाए और हमारी राहत के लिए. हाँ, that is part of Imam's portfolio, a physical portfolio. What is Imam's batini portfolio? Where is the team? Where is that AKTN? The spiritual part of the Imam's task. Where is that? Have we ever thought about that? Have we ever asked ourselves that? कि इमाम के पास 1.5 लाख आदमी काम करते हैं फिजिकल एंड वर्ल्डली इंप्रूवमेंट के लिए, हॉस्पिटल, स्कूल्स, एक्सेट्रा एक्सेट्रा. Does Imam come to this world for that? Or did Imam come to this world for our spiritual enlightenment? हमारी रूह की निजात के लिए आए हैं इमाम. Then where is his batini AKDN? Where is his batini Lashkar? His batini team? And what is their task? How do they work for Imam? What do they have that they are able to work for the Imam? What do they have? How can they enroll themselves in the team of the Imam of the Batin? Are everyone listening, hearing me? Do you comprehend? Do you understand? Do you know what I'm saying? Like I said at the beginning of this session, today we are going to jump into the nitty-gritty of our journey of ibadat and the soul and the Isme Azam. So here it comes. How did they enroll themselves in the Batini team of the Imam? How? With Isme Azam. इसमें आज़म के साथ, बोल के साथ जब उन्होंने इबादत बंदगी की, obeying, complete submission, बंदगी, serving and pleasing the Imam, Baitul Qiyal, when they went into their batin and had the thoughts of the higher, and when they applied the key of the Isme Azam, they were able to open the door. And where did they find themselves? And what did they see? They saw the Nur and they had the guidance. And as they progress spiritually, they were able to find themselves with such a mu'mineen who were walking amongst us with the light of the Imam, and they were in the true sense alive spiritually, and now they are working for the batini task of the Imam. क्योंकि इमाम का जो असल काम है दुनिया में आने का, वो बातिनी था, ज़ाहिरी नहीं था. ज़ाहिर was just a door to the batin. An Imam had given you the key to that batin. We call it Bol or Isme Azam. I hope I'm making myself clear without saying too much. Let me see, I believe. Okay, so this question is not a question, it's just asking for a reference. I had given one reference of remembering Allah all day. And that was Surah Ali Imran, Surah number 3, ayat number 191, in which says, standing, sitting, sleeping, remember Allah. But this person has commented, I use the word always. So go ahead and write down this reference. Surah number 33, Surah Azab, ayat number 41, and you will find the word always. O believers. The key word is Ya ayyuhallazina. The one who believes. O believers. Always remember Allah, and then there is a key word at the end. Zikre kasira, abundantly. हमेशा अल्लाह को याद करो बहुत ज़्यादा. सूरह 33 आयत नंबर 41 और सूरह का नाम है सूरह अल-अहज़ाब. The next question is, there are 4 questions from our sister from Canada. Her first question is very hard, but this Garib and Nachis can try. I can try. And that is, how do we know when we have completed Ism-e Azam? How do we know when we have completed Ism-e Azam? So instead of me answering it, I would just quote one of the Mullah Papa's Farman of Golden Jubilee. You will have no doubt in your heart that you have completed your Ism-e Azam. When you succeed, you will know it. Having said that, remember, completion of the Ism-e Azam is on darjat, on the levels. I know some people think, and this is again, think outside the box. Think outside the box. People think today we are here and tomorrow we're going to complete our Ism-e Azam and we will be done. Imam's Farman again. Come closer, closer and closer to the Nur of Imam. What does it mean? The completion of Ism-e Azam are on steps. Are on the steps. Again, without giving too much out, first Chingari, just a sparkle of the Nur. Then a little bit more brighter, then more brighter. Step by step by step. Because we will not be able to take the Nur in its complete form all of a sudden. It is not in our power physically to take that. So what does Imam do with his rahmat? Little bit, and then closer and closer and closer. It gets brighter, brighter and brighter and brighter. So I believe that is the answer to your question number 1. Number 2, when we have Batini experience, how do we know where we are on our personal journey? Beautiful question. How do we know? If you take the same answer to your first question to number 2 question, even the Batini experiences are many and are on stages. But who will know and understand their Batini experiences? मौला का ये फरमान तो जरूर है कि जब तुमको लाइट मिलेंगी, तुमको नूर मिलेगा, you will have no doubt in your mind. But here she has cleverly asked a deeper question. A deeper question. The Batini experiences. Do you see that? She's thinking outside the box. She had asked a deeper question of Batini experience. Those who have the true knowledge of the Imam, the knowledge of the Batin, who have taken the trouble to learn the Batin, इल्म वाली रूह दर्जा ब दर्जा ऊपर जाएंगी. You will have the spiritual experiences, different experiences. For example, experience of the sound, experience of the eyes, experience of the nose smell, experience of the tongue taste, and experience of the touch feeling. What am I saying to you? As we have our 5 physical senses, there are 5 batini senses. As those senses are open, you will experience, number 1, the sound. Number 2, seeing, eyesight. Number 3, nose, smell. Number 4, taste, tongue. Number 5, touch, feeling. You will have multiple spiritual experiences. So if you look at your question again, when we have batini experiences, how do we know where we are on our personal journey? It may be a little bit different for you than the other person and then me, because it depends on you how much understanding of the batin you have. And what that has to do with what? How much batini ilm have you been listening and learning? If you have not learned any batini knowledge, even if you have those experiences, you will not be able to understand, and you will say what? I'm going to quote Imam Aka Sultan Muhammad Shah, may our soul be sacrificed to their Imam. And this line is right after the line where Imam says, इल्म वाली रूह दर्जा ब दर्जा ऊपर जाती है, जिसके पास इल्म नहीं है वो कहता है मैं तो यहीं पर बैठा हुआ हूँ. The soul with the true knowledge will go above and above, step by step. Those without the hakiki ilm will say, I'm not going anywhere, I am sitting here. That is the answer to your second question.